it's kind of upsetting me a little bit, because I'm just thinking of what I could have used that money for. Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy and I hope you had a fantastic New Year's Eve, and I hope you have kicked off the new year with loads of great habits. And one of the habits that I want to get better at this year, one of the things I want to improve on, is dealing with my money. I want to be better at saving and more conscientious when I spend money, and you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So this means that I actually have to look at my spending habits if I have any hope of improving them. So today we're going to look at what I spent on Virgin Voyages the Scarlet Lady, my last cruise ship, and then at the end we're going to see what the total amount spent was, which, gotta be honest, I'm not looking forward to sharing. And I thought this also might be handy for any of you who are going to work on a cruise ship, just to give you an idea of what you can spend when you're working on board a cruise ship. Because while it is a great opportunity to save money, which I have said in many other videos, there's also stuff to spend your money on. But this contract especially, I have been quite generous with myself. So we are going to look at the damage that was done. But firstly, just a little bit about how it works. So when you get on board a cruise ship, you're going to be given a Laminix. It's a little card that will have your face on. It will be the key to your cabin, your identification for working on board the cruise ship so you can get on and off, but it will also act as your debit card on board. So whatever you want to purchase, you will use your Laminix for those purchases. So you can either do like a pay-as-you-go with cash, so every time you run out of money you just put more cash on there, or you can link your debit card to the Laminix, which means that you will never run out of money unless your debit account runs out of money. Now, I have always recommended topping it up as you go because it just helps you keep a better eye on what you're spending. That is what I did this time around. So I would load an amount of money on there, and when it had run out, then I would go and load another load of money on there. And while it did help me keep an eye on what I was spending, it didn't slow me down. Alright, so this is what we're going to be going off. So when every crew member signs off their contract, they will get given a piece of paper with their purchase breakdown on there for their entire contract, whether that be 6, 8, 9 months. Mine was about 6. So it starts off on the 6th of July because I joined the ship on the 21st of June, and if you remember I was in quarantine for a while. So I'm guessing the 6th of July was my first purchase out of quarantine, and then it goes down in date order. So as we can see on the first page, it is all Corkscrew, which is one of the crew bars on the Scarlet Lady. So at the top on Corkscrew, kind of from the 6th of July to the 10th of July, as we can see, I went to the bar every night. It was all like $9, $7, $6. And I remember when we first got out of quarantine, we were buying rounds. So we would all go to the bar, and instead of just buying our individual drinks, we do rounds, which is why, you know, there's a charge here for like $9.60. Because honestly, like $9.60, well, that's more than I would spend on like a good night out in crew bar because everything is so cheap. So it looks like I went a little bit wild when I came out of quarantine and literally didn't do anything else in terms of spending. So then the 10th of July, I slowed down a little bit, and the charges are less and less and less. Like for the 11th, we've got 5 charges on the 11th of July. And they're all like 105, 105, 240, 480 and 240. I mean, I imagine that 105 is the price of one drink, one cocktail. And then the 480, I must have bought someone else's drink or something like that. And then, you know, as we go down, you've got quite a lot of 105s because that was the price of a cocktail. And then you've got a few like 53 cents. So I think 53 cents was a beer, because on Virgin Voyages for crew and passengers, like sodas are free. So if I went to the crew bar and I wasn't drinking, and yes, that did happen, then I would just have like Fanta or Sprite, and that's completely free. So if I didn't drink on Virgin Voyages, well, I wouldn't have spent any money. So this is all alcohol because they don't charge for non-alcoholic drinks. Now, something I would just like to add, obviously we have got all of those crew bar charges, but for the first 3 months of my contract, I could not get off the ship, which is not a normal situation. So on my contracts before, I would not go to Crew Bar every night. Not that I need to justify my decisions, but I'm just letting you know that I think the reason that I was obviously blowing a lot of steam in the Crew Bar was because I couldn't get off the ship. Okay, so now moving on to the second page, we have some more Crew Bar charges. So on the rocks is a sailor bar. It is at the roundabout, which is in the centre of the ship. It's like the central bar on deck 6 next to the shops. So as you can see, the price of a cocktail is very different in On the Rocks. It is $8.80 as opposed to $1.05 in Crew Bar. Extra Virgin. So Extra Virgin is the Italian restaurant on board. Now crew actually don't have to pay for food, neither do sailors. Food is all included, which is incredible. Like even on P&O, if crew wanted to go to some of the passenger restaurants, it would be really cheap. It would be like a $7 surcharge, but the fact that the crew could go to any other restaurants and the food was completely free is just insane. So once again, this $96 charge was on a bottle of wine. So I remember we all went as a big group of us. I bought the bottle of wine and then everyone just like paid me back, because we shared this bottle of wine between a lot of us, because it worked out cheaper to buy a bottle of wine than to buy individual glasses of wine. So that is why I spent $96 on a bottle of wine. Here we have a redemption spa charge, so $75. Alright, so here we have Grounds Club, and then there's some more Grounds Club, and we've got like $3.20, $4.20. So they are charges for coffee. This really was a stupid purchase for me, because usually on other ships you have coffee that is served in the mess, the crew eating area, which is absolutely abysmal, but then you have coffee that is served in the passenger coffee shop, whether that is Starbucks, Costa, Grounds Club, and that is always really, really lovely. So on other ships I would obviously buy coffee from the coffee shop, but there was a good reason, because it was a hell of a lot nicer. It was actually palatable. Whereas on Virgin Voyages, they actually serve exactly the same coffee in the mess for free as they do in Grounds Club for a charge. The only difference is in the mess it's machine made, and in Grounds Club it's made by a barista, but it's the same coffee beans. So this really is a purchase that doesn't sit well with me, because I could have got the same thing for free in the mess. Again, here I have a charge for redemption spa. So I did go to the spa and get a massage. I think it was actually in one of the videos that I posted. So that is what that was, and that was well worth the money. Here we have more Crew Bar charges. The wake. So once again, the dinner at the wake would have been free of charge, but we would have gone in a big group. So the $51 would have been on a bottle of wine that would have then been split between the group who went to the wake. So then again we have Grounds Club, so here, Crew Retail Shop. So obviously we have the shops on board for the passengers to shop in, but there is also a crew shop that the sailors do not have access to. This crew shop basically sells essentials like chocolate, crisps, razors, toothbrushes, sanitary products, sun cream, hair gel, all of those like very basic things, which was obviously incredibly necessary whilst the crew couldn't get off the ship due to COVID. So more than likely I bought some digestive biscuits from the crew shop. I can almost guarantee that that is what the purchase was. So here we have the test kitchen at £9 or $9 even, so I would have gone to the test kitchen and had a cocktail, and then Grounds Club again. So it's all pretty much, well, it is all food and drink apart from the spa. It's all stuff that I can ingest. Okay, so now on to the third page. So another thing I just want to say is you'll notice that there is no charge for Wi-Fi, because Virgin Voyages provides free Wi-Fi for their crew and their sailors, which is absolutely incredible. Because if I went through my purchase breakdown from the other cruise lines that I have worked for, there would be a lot of Wi-Fi charges. Because on my other contracts I easily spent, I think it was like $600 to maybe $600 to $700 on Wi-Fi in a contract. The Wi-Fi is really expensive and it's how the world functions, and obviously me doing YouTube, Wi-Fi is pretty necessary. So the fact that Virgin provides free Wi-Fi for their crew and sailors is amazing. It has saved me, well, saved me $800. So thank you, Virgin. Alright, so third page, we have more Corkscrew crew bar, the cruise shops, then more digestives, grounds club, more coffee that I could have got for free. Oh my god, look at all those grounds club charges. That is not great. Lagoon bar, so that is another sailor bar on board. So I obviously went there. Also, apart from the cruise shop, you'll notice that there are no other purchases from the shops on board. And that's because I work in the shops. I don't get things for free, but we just pay for them using a different system. So every other crew member that doesn't work in the shops on board would purchase something from the shops using their Laminex, and it would show up on this piece of paper. However, because I work in the shops, whatever I purchase comes out of my paycheck. So if I decide I want to buy some moisturizer, that is $30. When I get my paycheck at the end of the month, it's going to be $30 less than it should have been because they've deducted the moisturizer that I have taken. So it doesn't show up on this. So it is just the crew retail shop that you are going to see come up on my breakdown. More grounds club, more Corkscrew crew bar. Oh, here we have Razzle Dazzle. So $8.80, that would have been a cocktail at Razzle Dazzle. And then more coffee. And that is my total breakdown, just on stuff that I can ingest. And actually another thing that I save money on is water. So usually on other cruise lines you have to purchase water, but Virgin Voyages are trying to do their bit for the environment. So instead of selling their crew thousands of plastic bottles every month that are just going to get dumped into the ocean eventually, they have provided all of their crew members with a reusable water bottle, and there are water stations all over the ship so you can refill your water, but it also means that it is free. The crew do not have to pay for water. And on my other ship, I think for a case of 6 big bottles of water, it was $3, but I get through a lot of water. That's like, what, $12 every month? Which, you know, when you look at how much I've spent on coffee, it's not really that much, but it all adds up. And also, it's just so much plastic. So there are so many reasons that I am glad Virgin have gone down the reusable water bottle route. So now we've gone through each individual purchase, I'm now going to reveal, very begrudgingly, the total amount that I spent on my Virgin Voyages contract. Dun, 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 dun. So here we have, like, I was putting on, I put on 100 and then I spent that. I put on 500 and obviously got through that eventually. Got through that, put on 100, then 250. So those are all of the debit top-ups that I put on my Laminex, and then obviously spent all that money on alcohol and coffee. And then this is the total amount of money that I spent during my 6-month contract. I think the fact that this was spent over 6 months, it's not actually as bad as it looks. But knowing that that amount of money, $1,044, was spent on basically coffee, alcohol and digestive biscuits, it's kind of upsetting me a little bit, because I'm just thinking of what I could have used that money for. And actually, did I need to pay for coffee? No. Did I need to drink alcohol and feel shit the next day? No. To have it down on paper is quite shocking. It is what it is, and if I do another contract, we will see if I'm any more conscientious with my spending. But I'm going to try not to be too hard on myself. I was confined to a cruise ship for 3 months, so you know what, if I needed to blow a little money on coffee and a drink every other night to help me feel okay, then you know what, it's fine. But hopefully, if I go on another cruise ship, I won't be confined to the cruise ship for 3 months, so I won't need to spend the money on coffee and alcohol. I'll spend it on coffee and alcohol import instead. But anyway guys, I really hope you have enjoyed this video and you found it interesting seeing what I spent over my 6-month contract on board Virgin Voyages the Scarlet Lady. If you did find it helpful, then please let me know in the comments, and same if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. And for those of you going on a ship, I hope this gives you an idea of how much you can expect to spend in Crew Bar. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.